Good evening and welcome to the YouTube. Now, it's not YouTube Live, unfortunately. I'm sorry I'm not around, but I've got something to make up for it. A lot of people have been asking me about a certain card that was as a kit a couple of years ago, and I thought, well, do you know what? That goes in so well with a new die set. So, as it's coming up to that time of year again, we are going to be doing the die set square window easy frames. So I've got that for sale today, and I'm using it with the Maximum Crafts Corner Corsage, which was in the November card kit. So I'm sure that you have already sorted one of those out. And I know, yet again, I'm using the Duo Paper Pad Winter Wonderland. Just love it, and it just fits in perfectly with what I'm doing there. I will come back to that in a little while when I'm talking about White Wednesday, but for now, let me introduce you to the new die set by showing you one of the cards. So this is a version of, but not a splendid one, the splendid one is coming, of the new 6x6 frames. So this is a really special frame set because you've actually got 4 parts to it. So you can see that you've got a scalloped edge, and then you've got, if you look, the lovely little herringbone idea for the top frame, but it also includes, completely separately, but 2 of our window pane frames. So let me bring you in the set so that you can see what I mean. So you've got the scalloped edge there, easy. You've got the marked edge there, and then you've got these 2 separate dies that can be used either individually or together to really create a very special window effect. But you don't need to use them at all. You can use this just as it is. And if you've already got either of the 6x6 frames, which is either the plain one or the torn stitched ones, the middle piece, the smaller frame, fits in this bigger one. So, for example, I'll bring in this die. This is the torn stitched ones, but the stitched version of the 6x6 frames. And you can use that absolutely perfectly within your scalloped edge of this one. So I wanted to make it so that it just adds to what you've already got, as well as, oh, now I need that one again. So you can mix and match your inner frame. So as I said, if you've got this ordinary one, you've got this one is the new one, but you can interact with your other ones as well. So let me show you how they all cut out. So I've already taken advantage of cutting some of this all out here. So this is going to be my card blank. Now this is actually a 7x7 card blank because the card that I'm using is going to be a very special card. Okay, so I've done that one for you on a 7x7 because it gives us a bit more leeway. So here is your outer die, your scalloped. Then you've got the white version. I've cut that out in shimmer silver, but this one, now you can't really see on the white the framework very well, which is why I brought that other one in to show you. But you can never, white never shows up very well on a camera, but if you look at the edge here, you can see what that pattern is. That's what we're going for. Okay, and then you've got your 2 pieces of your window pane, so they fit one on top of another to give a really nice special finish. I'm just going to put those 2 pieces together, and then I'm going to show you how I want to make my card. Again, really simple, but this one is something else. So let's just pop that there. Let's just rejig my, whoops a daisy. So, sorry. Right, the cold weather's got to it, hasn't it, eh? So let's do that again. There we we are. Now again, it has been made so that it fits within your frame, but nice and simple to fit. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. It fits like that, so that you've got plenty of room on the other side to be able to slot that in. Okay, so I'm going to put that in now. So a little bit of glue on the ends of all 4 pieces, and then as much as I can, I'm going to put that on evenly. So that creates my frame. So it looks like a window, but you could equally use it as putting sort of people poking out there, a flower in each of these pieces. It's a lot of different ways that you can use that. And then my other frame is going to go on top of it like that. Okay, so let's just do that. It's really nice to have the range of these frames, and I know that a lot of people have actually got them so that they can all mix and match. So it sort of works really well, I think, to just use that, and then have the window pieces in the middle as a complete option. Don't have to have it at all. So then I'm going to bring in one of my pictures from the Winter Wonderland, which I think works really, really well. I need to cut a piece out, and it doesn't really matter where I'm going to cut that from, but if I cut a piece that is about 14 centimetres by 14 centimetres, I will just double check that, because I just want to make sure that that is going to be, no, 13 centimetres would be better, because then it's not going to hang over the edge. 14 would be fine, but 13 would be even better. So I'm just going to take my picture and just trim that down so that it is 13 by 13. Cut a little bit more off of that end. I'm just sort of putting the picture into my square, really. Okay, so when I put this over the top, that is what we're looking at there. Okay, so remove these pieces. Now, the card that people were all talking about was a card that was with drapes or curtains, and that's what I'm going to do for you today. So I'm going to trim this piece down to, it's 10.5 centimetres wide, and I'm going to trim it down so that it is 26 centimetres long. Okay, so 10.5 by 26. Then I'm going to get my scoreboard, and I need to do some scoring then. I'm going to put that up against the edge here, and I'm going to score it at 1 centimetre, 2 centimetres, 4 centimetres and 5 centimetres, 7 centimetres and 8, and 10 and 11. Then I'm going to turn it round and do exactly the same, but from the other edge. So 1 and 2, 4 and 5, 7 and 8 and 10 and 11. So that's all the scoring. Okay. Now, when you look at your piece of card, you will see that in the middle, if I can show you just about, you've got a much wider space with no score lines on. That's going to be the centre of our card. And I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to measure at 13 centimetres, which is half of the card. And that is there. So 13 centimetres there. And then I'm going to measure just 2 centimetres down from that mark. So in half along there, so I know exactly where my half is, and then 2 centimetres down. Then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to draw a line from that centre mark to the bottom outside edge here. So let me just get that into position. So I'm drawing it with a pencil. And then round from the other way, going to do exactly the same from that centre mark to the bottom corner here and draw a line. Now then I need to cut that piece out because we don't need that piece. So I'm going to do that with my scissors, and I'm just going to do it so that I'm just basically cutting that pencil line off, so it's fractionally to one side of it, and then to the point there, and then bring this back in and do that here. So we're then ending up with this sort of a shape. Okay. Then I'm going to get my score tool. I'm going to turn my piece of card over. And so the first fold, which is only a centimetre, I'm going to fold that upwards. Then the next one the other way. And I'm giving it, as always, a nice crisp fold. Then back again, then back again. This is ordinary white card, nothing special, just ordinary white card. One way and the other, one way and then the other. So you've got all of that side done. Then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to do exactly the same this way. And it's quite important that you don't sort of continue there without really thinking about it, because otherwise you'll get the folds folding one way and then the other side will be the wrong way round, because they need to be evenly matched. So if you start as you did on the other side, that's the easier way, I find. So folding the first one that way and then back. And then forward, back, forward, back, forward, and back. So now you've got all your creases, and if we just bend these over, we'll then see that this comes together like a drape, and then we do that the same way on this side, again giving a drape. So if we put those pieces together and hold them together, you'll see that we've got our windows drapes going on. Now, how do we stick them together? Well, the best way I found was by putting tape on the back. I found that by putting glue on each one of these pieces, I got in a bit of a pickle, because the folds make this card really strong and really a little bit springy. And so unless you're going to sit there for half an hour, which I'm not, I do recommend that you use some extra strong tape at the back. So, if I can find the beginning, I'm just going to push them all together on one side like that, and then pop at the top my tape over like that. Then I'm going to push them all together on the other side, and then putting the tape over on that side. Now, they will all spring together, so don't think that you've got it wrong. They will all spring together in just a second, like that. But when you open them up, they are now sitting there quite nicely in place. Okay, so let's bring our card in and let's assemble some of the items. So first of all, I'm going to put my village scene in. We'll do it as a top folding, and I will put that in fairly central on my card blank, which, as I said, in this case is a 7 by 7. So I'm going to pop that on the centre there. I'm going to turn this over. Of course, I'm going to put some foam on. So I'm going to put some foam onto all these edges. Now, I'm not going to put it onto those centre pieces, but mainly because I've got very strong card, and there's two, as you know, two thicknesses there, so I don't feel that it needs it. But if you would prefer, it's really simple just to put some bits of foam on there as well. So just pop this over here, put a little bit of extra onto here, and then pop that into place in the centre of my card, like so. Then I'm going to bring in my drapes, and they are going to sit in the window like that. So in order to stick them, I will be able to take the tape off of the back and add a little bit of glue as well. Hold on, let me just remove this tape. So that will be a really good way to stick it anyway, but I just want to put some glue on these outer pieces so that it holds itself down. So just on there, whoops, and on that one. Stop turning. So when I turn that round, just going to slot that into my window piece there. So I can stick those pieces down the side, and that all sticks nicely as well. Now, then comes my corsage. So I've cut it, usually I'm cutting it out of green, but this time I cut it from the silver glimmer, which is at the back here, and that is going to go onto my card front there. Okay, so I use the corsage, but you could have of course, if you've got any foliage, make up your own little bit going on here. I just wanted to use what I already had, basically. So that's that to start off with. I'm going to pop that to one side because I bought my flowers here. So this time I've cut out the flowers that come with the corsage, which is therefore 2 large ones and 4 of the smaller ones. And I want to put a bit of sparkle on them. And I'm going to put some sparkle onto them with a bit of glue and then some sparkle. Okay, so let me just grab my glue, just a second. Just thinking what sparkle that I'm going to use for it, which is why I'm rooting through. I think I'll probably use, I don't really want to use that one, it's a little bit too sparkly, or shall we just go for it? Let's just go for it. Let's stop, no messing. Okay, so I'm going to put 3, so those 3, oh, you can't see that very well, can you? I'm going to then put some glue onto there and sort of rub that in a little bit, and then put my glitter on there. So you can then see, can you see how that glitters? Just making it look a little bit different, really. So do that for this one as well. Done. Having problems there today with my glue gun that doesn't stick, and it's sticking. So I'm putting that on, but then I'm wiping it so that it's just all over the place, and I can then pick up those extra little bits that are over there. So that one's all glittery. And then finally this other little one as well. Just fancied putting a little bit of glitter on today. Wonderful. So take those over to the pot there. Tip that back into my glitter pot and put the lid back on, because we do not want that everywhere. As much as we like glitter, we don't want that everywhere, do we? So I'm then going to get myself my silicone glue and pop some little gems into the centre of my flowers. So I'm really trying to make these flowers look a bit different here, really, to be honest. That's why I'm going to town with them, so that they look more Christmassy than they were before. So I'm just going to bend. So these are the glitter ones. These are the ones that are going to go on top. And I'm just pushing them down into my moulding mat with my tool there, so that we know that they are just right. Whoops. So then going to get a little bit of silicone glue. And just get my tool out for that. Oh. Well, I would do. If we could get it to come out. Why is it like that? Been using it too much and not putting the lid back on, eh? Right. Hey presto. So, little tiny bit of glue into the centre so that I can pop my pearls into the centre. Pretty. And the same with that one. And the same with that one. So just a little bit of silicone, not least for the fact that I've got all the glitter on there. Beautiful. Really, really shining. Bring in my card again. Now, just the same as we have done before, which is placing the two smaller ones on the outside first and then the centre ones. So I'm going to put another little bit of silicone glue on the back of one of the little ones and pop that into place, lining up the petals. Then I'm going to do the same with the other little one, lining up the petals. Now I need to do in the centre again, because I want to add my other pieces here. So let me just grab them and bring that there. Lovely jubbly. Whoops. Sit back in the centre. Really looks so different like that. Oh, I'm not sure if you can see it, how sparkly that looks. It's beautiful. And then I'm going for the one in the middle. So I'm just going to put that again with a little bit of glue on the back. And then that sits over the top of the other two. And the same with this one. Like that. So let me just put that lid on and I hope I've done it properly this time. Let's clear the decks for you and show it in all its glory. So you can see what I've done there. I've used the new window frames and I've popped on one of the actual drapes, because so many people ask me how I did that. This one is very slightly different than the one before, so you know, not to worry. It's same. It's not the same measurements exactly, but it's still the same method. And teaming it with the new beautiful square window easy frames, all separate parts to the square window, so you don't have to have the window pieces there if you don't want to. And if you've already got the other two or one or other of them of the square 6 frames, easy frames, the smallest one can be interchanged with this one, so you've got such a nice array in there. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. I do hope you have a good rest of the weekend. Bringing back this in to just remind you that I had something on here about a White Wednesday. Okay, so White Wednesday, I don't do Black Friday. I don't like black. So I'm going to do a White Wednesday. So I have got, for next Wednesday, I have got some sale items that will be going on. I will bring them on and show you, but it's just a few sale items that will be on the website going live at 6 o'clock. And to beat the rest of it, I mean, actually, everybody seems to have had a Black Friday event 2 weeks before Black Friday. So I think White Wednesday, or secretly, shall we call it Wicked Wednesday? Yeah, let's do that. But for now, we have the square window easy frames all over on the website. We'll bring that down so that you can see it, maximumcrafts.com. Hope you can do that for me. And a few of the good old thumbs up wouldn't go amiss. Take care, and I will see you again very, very soon. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Bye-bye.